What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we're taking a look at several different charts. In yesterday's video, we were talking a lot about the Bitcoin dominance and the Ethereum dominance. Both the Bitcoin market cap chart and the Ethereum market cap chart have reached out to their 4.236 extensions, as we can see here on the Bitcoin market cap, and the same thing going on over here on the Ethereum market cap chart. We spent some time talking about the Bitcoin dominance chart and how it's sitting down here on the support level. Let me just say this real quick. On this chart, you'll see a lot of these crazy wicks. This is just an API issue. These wicks did not happen, but you're going to see more of those in this video. We're just going to really pay attention to what's happening with the prices and where they're at right now. Or in this case, it's not really a price, it's the dominance figure. But as we can see, Bitcoin's dominance is at 40%. Ethereum's dominance has taken a little bit of a step back since yesterday's video. As we were talking about over here, this was where the top of the USD value for Ethereum came in the 2017 and 2018 bull run. Ethereum was able to reach a dominance of 22%. And as you can see now, we're above 21% right now for Ethereum. So obviously the prices of the market have not changed drastically since yesterday. Yesterday was a down day. Today is an up day. But for the most part, prices are still staying really relevant. For normal people from the stock market, it's huge volatility, right? Down 7% one day, up 8% the next day, then likely down 5% the next day. Huge numbers, but in crypto, this is the typical type of volatility that we do see. But otherwise, structurally, nothing has really changed really throughout the whole week, ever since we had the big event happen in the middle of the night over the weekend. But it's been a challenging week, no doubt. Probably one of the most dramatic weeks of this YouTube channel. In essence, I have flipped to bearish over here on Bitcoin. As I said, if $53,000 ever broke, that would be the confirmation for me that Bitcoin has begun its bear market. But bear markets do not typically move down in straight lines. They can move down in straight lines for weeks at a time, but eventually some type of retracement or some type of big move does return that does restore optimism in the market that the correction is over. And while these moments can be scary and uncertain and trying, I look back to the history of the cryptocurrency market and what has happened historically, and that these moments typically signify big events that come for the altcoin market. And so throughout this week, we've spent a lot of time looking at altcoin charts and deep diving into what has happened for the broader perspective of the top 50 altcoins throughout the course of 2021. And while there's new stuff that's in the top 50 right now, if we take a peek at what the top 50 was at the beginning of the year, we could see that nearly 90% of them haven't really done anything all year long. It's just a select few that have done anything dramatic, including Bitcoin, which has only been up 9% since Elon Musk made the announcement that Tesla added Bitcoin to its balance sheet. But we've spent a lot of time looking at this type of stuff, saying, hey, there's a clear anomaly happening here in this market where there's a few coins that have gone, but the bulk majority of them have yet to have their opportunity. And when we look at previous historic tops that have come in for Bitcoin and the ends of cycles, we see that there's a flood of money that comes to these assets. And that while we can sometimes beat our head against a wall on why our particular asset hasn't taken off, we can see that there just hasn't been the market condition for the altcoins to be able to do that like we had earlier in the year, in which you could see that every single asset moved up together. And yesterday we were talking about how pivotal of a moment this is right now, as we can see for Ethereum reaching that dominance factor of, is this as much of the market that Ethereum can swallow? One thing that's really interesting about Ethereum is if we actually look at the market cap number, right now it's sitting at $491 billion. It reached as high as $572 billion. Now, when Bitcoin popped back in 2017, that was enough energy to send the altcoin market ripping and roaring. Do you know what the market cap of Bitcoin was then? It was only $336 billion. $336 billion popping was able to send the altcoin market ripping and roaring into the retrace from 336 billion. Ethereum hit 574 billion. Ethereum alone is like 2 Bitcoins from 2017. And like we said, 330 billion for Bitcoin back in 2017, this time 1.29 trillion or 1,296 billion. So these numbers are significantly bigger this time around. And so many of these altcoins haven't taken out their 2017 tops. And the thing about both of these assets, Bitcoin and Ethereum, consuming so much money and so much of the market cap, is we decided to take a look over here at their dominance charts and see if they're at these pivotal moments, and they both are. You have Bitcoin on the support of its dominance chart, and you have Ethereum at the resistance of its dominance chart. And logic would tell you, hey, it looks like probably Ethereum's either going to get rejected from that thing and Bitcoin's going to swallow it back, or Ethereum's going to break through it and that's going to break down Bitcoin. But the factor there is that both of them have reached out to this 4.236 extension with their market cap. So are we going to see something else? Are we going to see something where Ethereum gets rejected and Bitcoin breaks down? Because both of them consume so much of the market, and that when we've seen these bubbles pop historically into the retrace, it's the rest of the market that benefits from that moment. And between yesterday's video and today's video, besides just looking at the Bitcoin dominance, and besides just looking at the Ethereum dominance, I thought to myself, let's take a look at both of them together, and maybe we can get an idea from the Bitcoin dominance and the Ethereum dominance combined of when that moment actually comes for the rest of the market to get to take over. And I think this is important because when we look at CoinMarketCap, when we look at the rankings of all of the cryptocurrencies and they're sorted by what their market cap is, you could see there, number 2, Ethereum market cap, 479 billion. Number 3, 96 billion. Ethereum is 5 times larger than the number 3 digital asset. So it commands number 2 by a lot. And like we talked about, it's gotten to like 2 times the size of what Bitcoin was back in 2017. And has there historically been a time where we can look at what the Bitcoin dominance plus the Ethereum dominance tells us and can say the rest of the market can have its opportunity now? And this is going to be the 2017 bull run in which there were 2 phases in which the dominance did fall for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it was the opportunity for the rest of the market to get its shot. Like we've been talking about over here. Instead of the show just being about Bitcoin and Ethereum, it becomes about the rest of the market as well. Again, we've got all these crazy wicks over here. We just have to ignore them. And if we take a look at what this all played out like back in 2017, we can see that we're doing something very similar this time around as well. And that we've paused at the same moment like we paused back in 2017. And that we can see there are undeniable similarities that have happened in here for these market caps combined, or these dominances combined, and the length at which they fell from right in here to this area to hold this time period for such a long time. And that this moment right in here was the moment for the breakdown. You could see there was still this final pop that happened up in here before it reversed and went back down. But again, this was the same area from which the breakdown occurred and the rest of the market got to go back in 2017. And essentially, that would have to argue that there would be a new all-time low that would be set over here on the Bitcoin dominance. And one of the things I've pointed to over the course of the last 2 years with this YouTube channel has been that during the bear market, when the Bitcoin dominance retraced, look where it retraced to and was not able to get through 3 separate times. You know it. The 702 Fibonacci retracement level was the rejection for the Bitcoin dominance 3 times, unable to get through it, which would make perfect sense for there to be another new low that would get set over there on the Bitcoin dominance. The big challenge on figuring out how low could the Bitcoin dominance go comes from whether you're going to play with this on standard scale or you're going to play with this on log scale in here, because it's going to give you multiple different outcomes. It can get you as low as 30% or it can get you as low as 16 to 17%. But if you were to make your guess with going with the Ethereum plus the Bitcoin dominance and how low they could get combined, it gets you down there to about 42% for both of them together. So what would that do? My guess would be that that would be like 30% for Bitcoin, which would be waves of equal length for Bitcoin over here, getting you down there to about 27%, and then Ethereum falling all the way back down to where this breakout level occurred right in here and where this wide open gap is in here. So I can take all that off the screen. You can see really there's been back tests in here. There are some open gaps in here, but the most obvious wide open gap on Ethereum would have been right in here in April, where it just broke out and never came back. But in there, what does that get you to? That gets you down to about 12 to 13%. Well, if you got Bitcoin over there at like 26, 27%, you got Ethereum over here at 12 to 13%. That puts you right there at about 40% for both of them combined, which would line up for waves of equal length for the Bitcoin dominance plus the Ethereum dominance compared to the last altcoin mania session that we had, getting you down here to about 41%. So does that make sense that the two of them could fall down to that level? It makes really good sense to me. But what it also says to me in that moment, unquestionably, is that everything goes into a bear market after that. That's the end of it, right? And we then have every signal we could ever need to say that the bear market's kicking in for the altcoin market, for the Bitcoin price chart, for the Ethereum price chart. And while I may be, a bear on Bitcoin and a bear on Ethereum at this point, I'm still sitting here saying I'm excited for this market because there's a phase of the market that is missing. And that phase typically comes in the retracements that happen. And we've seen how much market cap Ethereum has gotten up to. It's gotten up to 2 times the amount of Bitcoin in 2017. Bitcoin has gotten 4 times the market cap that it did back in 2017. And there are still several assets sitting below their 2017 all-time highs. And those are the ones that interest me. And when I look over here at the Bitcoin dominance plus the Ethereum dominance and see that this has exactly played out before, just like this, in our last major bullish time period in the cryptocurrency market, I'm not freaking out just yet. I'm not shaking in my boots just yet. As a matter of fact, if it does that, it's the most exciting time of crypto that there is. Will it be easy? Probably not. Will there be lots of fear and panic and extreme greed and extreme fear and emotions all over the place and people screaming to the moon and people screaming we're never coming down and this time is different? Or they're screaming we're in a bear market and doing all kinds of hoopty hoops and loops and all over the place at the same time? You better believe it, man. It's the craziest market in the entire world. But we're just trying to do our best to make sense of it. And I try to come at it from a very analytical approach. I try not to bring any of the extreme moon boy stuff. I try to, shoot it straight with you the best that I possibly can. That's undeniable what we see right there on the screen with the Bitcoin dominance and the Ethereum dominance combined of what has happened. It's insane. And so while it may not make a whole lot of logical sense for me to sit there and say I'm bearish on Ethereum and I'm bearish on Bitcoin, but I'm extremely bullish on the rest of the cryptocurrency market, it's because I'm looking at things from this type of an angle. And that when, I say I'm bearish on Bitcoin, I mean, you could see exactly why. I don't have to come out here and be some like magical fortune teller to say I'm bearish on Bitcoin and I have the secret formula on why it is. I tell you exactly why. And you can see it right here on the screen. I think it takes a really big gamble to sit there and say it's not bearish. I just couldn't do it. There's no way I could. After everything I've ever shared with you guys on my channel and everything I've ever taught on my channel and how I come to conclusions of things, if I was like, yeah, I'd hit the 4.236 extension, but it's going to be fine. It's no worries, man. No way, dude. No way. It hit it. So I have to. And we don't just have Bitcoin doing it. We have Ethereum doing it too. And we have an incredible setup happening over here for the Bitcoin dominance plus the Ethereum dominance that shows when this happened last time, when the dominance did this last time, it was the rest of the market that got to benefit. And we know that the rest of the market got to benefit in 2017. After the tops did get put in and the retracements came in, it was all the rest of the market that stole the show for the rest of the cycle. And last time, we only had Bitcoin at $336 billion. And this time, the second biggest coin in the crypto market was 568 billion, twice the size. And so the confluences are just everywhere for me to be excited that that moment has finally come, that the two with the biggest market caps are ready to start bleeding out into the rest of the market. And for me, I'm extremely thrilled because I've already executed my exit plans on Bitcoin and on Ethereum. And I'm excited to do that on the other assets that I own in this market. But the timing just hasn't been right yet because these two guys have had too big of a grip on the market. And while it's a head scratcher on what's going to happen here with the Ethereum dominance, is it going to get rejected from the 2018 USD value top up here in the 22% range? Is Bitcoin going to break down its dominance at the same time? Or is Bitcoin going to swallow it back when Ethereum does get rejected? Or is Ethereum going to break through the resistance, causing the Bitcoin dominance to fall? Or maybe, just maybe, this chart with the Bitcoin dominance plus the Ethereum dominance is giving us the clear story that the time for both of them is coming to an end and it's time for the rest of the market to have its turn. And with that, I will bid you guys a very happy weekend. What a crazy week we have had. Definitely a chaotic week. over here for the blockchain backer, but hopefully we've had the ability to make some sense of everything that's been going on in the market this week while things have been wild. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this content. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I am going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. So I want to thank you so much for watching my channel. If you're looking for something to do throughout the weekend, you can check out my website over here, which is bcbacker.com. This is a course that I put together where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the previous altcoin market cycles, tying them all together, showing how they've worked in the past. I talk about my personal exit plans in here, and I teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro so you can do your own charting. I talk a lot about mathematics and percentages in here and why those are so important to me. And I did recently add the exit plan for Ethereum Part 4 final update and the blockchain backer exit plan Part 4 progress update. And the most recent market update is in there from November 30th. And you can check out all of this educational content over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.